DNI Haines, on this topic of life out there, you issued an extraordinary preliminary assessment in June on unidentified aerial phenomena, is the new term of art. To summarize that report, you studied 144 reports from U.S. government sources. 80 had multiple sensors that had made the identifications. In 18 of these instances, observers, I'm quoting, reported unusual UAP flight characteristics. You sorted these into 5 different bins. The last called just other. I want to ask you to share with the audience your takeaway after the completion of that report and what your own view is as you look at the evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bottom line is that we don't understand everything that we're seeing, and that's probably not surprising to anybody in many respects. But it was a report that really, Congress asked us to produce a report that assessed what we saw as the threat, essentially, from unidentified aerial phenomena, and what our sort of best understanding was of the different reports that we had identified. And it stretched over from, I think, 2004 through to 2021. The different reports that you indicated, 144 of them. And we had different categories, as you said. So one of them was airborne clutter, another was natural phenomenon, another was foreign adversaries, a fourth one was related to sort of US government or industry developmental programs, and then the fifth one was other. And that basically indicated that we were pretty sure we weren't going to be able to characterize every single one of these reports in the various categories that we'd identified because, frankly, we were not able to understand everything about it. And a large portion of that is based on the fact that we don't have a consistent way of reporting this information. We need to integrate, frankly, a lot of data that we get. We need to get better at collecting information that's useful to us from different sensors that are available to us, and we have to deepen our analysis in these areas. And that's something that, frankly, probably also doesn't surprise you in the sense that that's how we typically approach our intelligence work. And the main issues that Congress and others have been concerned about are basically safety of flight concerns and counterintelligence issues. But of course, there's always the question of, is there something else that we simply do not understand that might come extraterrestrially?
How would we know if we were being observed, for example? That's, I find, a question people pose to me often in the weeks before this session. What is the tradecraft?
Well, the tradecraft isn't any different for unidentified aerial phenomenon than it is for the rest of our work in the intelligence community, which is to say that, we do our work very much as I was indicating. We sort of, collect all of the information we can through a variety of different sensors. People are reporting things, we're picking up things technically, we're doing a variety of work to try to understand what it is that we're seeing. We are then taking other information that we have to determine, is it something that we know about in that area? Is there some other reporting that we might not normally think of as being connected? And then we do our analysis as we normally would to sort of say, okay, put it into context. What are the likely possible options? How do we characterize it, bucket it, and think about it? All of that is sort of the standard way in which you work. But it doesn't mean that that we are definitely going to be able to tell if we're being observed under the circumstances. I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways in which that might be revealed, but certainly we're working to make sure that we understand what we do see and what phenomenon is identified, and otherwise we're going to have to wait for Bill's science work, I think, to actually reveal some of these additional possibilities.